First, let's pay homage to the lineage gurus, to the Venerable Mang Liao Ming, to Master Sakya Tsung Kung, to the 16th Dharma King Karmapa, and Master Tupten Darji. Homage to the 3 jewels of the altar, and homage to the main deity of Homa today, Guru Rinpoche. The mantras, short and long mantras. Simu, Tuten Siddhi Rinpoche, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, temple directors, and all participants here and over the internet. And participating VIPs today is from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, from NCCAA, Secretary General and Madam Liao. From Academia Sinica, Professor Zhu Si and Mrs. Zhu. From the Taiwan government, the Chief Secretary, Mr. Tsang and Mrs. Tsang. From the Taichung City Council, the council person Wu, and from the Kaohsiung City Council, council person Xu Huiyu, and she was elected with the highest votes. Advising attorneys to the Tribhuda Foundation, Mr. Zuo Zhongshan, Mr. Luo Reliang, and Mrs. Huang, and a professor from Tongwu University, Dr. Lu Wenxiang, and from the Zhongshan Medical College affiliated plastic surgery department, the head Dr. Zheng Senglong, and the professors of Tribhuda School, the special professor Wang Jingxian, Professor Wang Li, Professor Hong Xinyi, Professor Mai Yihuang, Professor Cai Guoyu, Professor Gu Haoxiang, Professor Ye Shuwen, Dr. You Jiangcheng, and medical doctor Lin Jun'an. A representative to the legislator Cai Chi-chang, Ms. Chen. She is the representative of Cai Chi-chang from the DPP party. So Miss Chen Hui Mei was his mother-in-law. and she asked my blessings. They asked for my blessings for a list of names, and they were all elected. But let me clarify. When I give the blessings, I said they will win. And surely enough, but Tripura schools needs to make a disclaimer that we are not associated with any political parties. Our school is neither DPP nor KMT. We are neutral. But sometimes we have some prediction because I was being asked and I had performed some psychic calculation in America, and then during the press conference at the airport when I returned to Taiwan, I did not specifically talk about it. And after I got to Taichung, I told Miss Chen Hui-mei that this time you will win. And the representative from the councilperson of Tainan City, Tsai Wang-quan, and the president of the Worldwide Lotus Light Charitable Society, Master Changren. So he had a great work in his philanthropic world worldwide. And from the Taiwan Lotus Light Charitable Society, the head of director, Mr. Li Chunyang. And from my civil engineering school, from the Geodesic Bureau, Major General Mr. Sun and Mrs. Sun. You're from class 30th? 32, 30th. My class was class of 32, and Mr. Sun was from class 30th. Mine is 32nd class. So he became the head of bureau of the Geodesic Bureau, and he is the Major General. So this is the highest position, highest ranking in the Geodesic Bureau. And Mr. Sun Fu-sung, I was nice to we were nice to each other. Because he has a round face and very amiable. And I had a strong impression of him. Mr. Zhu Jinshui and Mrs. Zhu. And Mr. Zhu Jinshui is from the class 32nd, so we were from the same class, and he ranked first in class. And from Guam PIC Resorts representative, Miss Zheng Yi. At the round table, I told Miss Chen Huimei that this time you will win and everything will be green because the DPP party is represented by the color green. But Miss Zheng Yi was very solemn because she is the supporter for the Taipei City Mayor candidate. So they were both on the same table with me. And when I said that the DPP party, the Green Party will win, and Miss Zheng Yi was very disappointed, but still we have to wait for the results. And from the Global Asian Interactive Youth Association Taiwan chapter, the leader, Miss Chen, and the general manager from Jingyi Biotech Company, Miss Zhang, and from the Qiping Furniture Club, Miss Huang. Producers for the Guinea Diansang Xinten from CTITD Taiwan, Miss Rebecca Xuyaqi. And producers for the 9 stages of Great Perfection Dharma and Hevajra exposition and Debut Messages of Tantrayana, Master Lien Yue and the host Dharma Sister Pei Jun.
My sister Lu Sheng-yen
Miss Lu Sheng-yen. And also thank you for the flower bouquet from the candidate-elect for the Taichung City Mayor, Mr. Lin Jialong, and the legislator Cai Chi-chang, and also the selected mayor for Taoyuan City, Mr. Zheng Wenchang. And Mr. Zheng Wenchang had visited Taiwan Lei Tsang Temple once, and he also met me for the second time at the Taoyuan Fazhou chapter, and he also met me at the airport upon my return. Mr. Zheng Wenchang, actually at that time he had no hope to be elected, and everybody also didn't think that he would win, but at the end he did win. So that was a surprise. Every time I saw him, I would tell him, you have to work harder, you have to work harder. And then the last time at the airport, I tapped on his shoulder and congratulations on your election. And also for the donors for our meals at the temple. The president from the Manxin Fishing Instrument, Mr. Yang, and also from the Hongyao Construction Company, Mr. Lin. Good afternoon, everyone. How do you do? In Cantonese, in Taiwanese, and then Cantonese.
Good afternoon. Hola, amigo. Kamsahamnida. Sawadika. Selamat siang. Selamat datang.
How do you do, everyone?
这一次我第一个感谢的就是大家为我的咳嗽，大家都很。
First, I would like to thank all of you.
这个小型的这个
for your care for my cough. That my home now is like a pharmacy. That I could start selling all the coughing medicine. Thank you, everybody. And there are some people who chanted mantra and dedicated the merit. Thank you, everybody. Last night I asked Golden Mother, when will my cough be cured? And she said 3 days. 3 more days.
3天你们给他印证看看。
So you can prove it. Golden Mother said 3 more days, and I have been coughing for 3 weeks. She said that I will recover in 3 days. What if I'm not cured? Huh? So when I walked in earlier, you told me that I will recover in 3 days, but if I don't, then I would ignore you. And then she replied, then you'll fall and trip. If you don't. If I don't recover in 3 days, then I won't talk to you anymore. And then I tripped. Although there was nothing, I just felt like that I would trip. You know, really, I had that thought that if I don't recover in 3 days, then I would ignore you. And then all of a sudden, I felt like I was tripping. It's like I was moving forward. And good thing that I held myself. 3 days. So she said 3 days. So it would be 3 days. In 3 days, if I still cough, then you can get $1,000 from Golden Mother. And one more thing, on the internet, there are lots of postings around to Buddha school. And that if someone is already punished, then just let it be. We don't need to follow and also throw the stone. At the time of Emperor Kangxi of the Qing dynasty, that was Emperor Kangxi, right? Or Yongzheng? The emperor who inspected his officials, all his ministers and officers during their off-work time. That was Kangxi. Some said Kangxi. Some people said Kangxi, some people said Yongzheng. But I remember it was Emperor Kangxi. So he asked like a PI, private investigator, to check on his officers or ministers, what they were doing during their off-work time. Some went to the prostitutions, some went for entertainments, and some went for the hot springs. Some had their own private business. Some are forming some groups or secret organizations. There's some that's accepting briberies. So all the private investigators collected all kinds of materials, and after Kangxi read through them, he found that all of his ministers and cabinets and officers, none of them were clean and doing the right work in their leisure time. So finally, he burned all the reports. Otherwise, if he had to prosecute all the generals, ministers, and officers, then they all would be gone. There would only be one emperor left. So we should forgive all people who had been punished by the law. So we should just let them be, because they were already punished. So if Grandmaster says that if any Vajra master breach the rules and they are punished, so any masters with greed or crave reputation and name, or crave sex and sensuality, crave wealth, or receive briberies, if they're all punished, then nobody's left, even myself. Then there would be nobody in Tribhuta school, because, let me tell you one statement, in this world there are no sages. Anyone in this world carry karma being born in this world. There are only two saints. One is in the puppet show. So how do they perform the show? Wow. This is the verse from the puppet show. What? Surely. This is the surely, like me. Like the pumpkin. But in the puppet show, it talked about that no matter how high you are, there would be someone higher. Doesn't matter how strong you are, there would be someone stronger. So as Buddhists, we need to first endure. And the second is to give way. So we give way to others because karma will take care of itself. They would receive the retribution or the results of their own actions. So as Buddhists, upon meeting evil, we still cultivate virtues or goodness. There are two stories. According to what I know, there was a monk at the Foguangshan, the Buddha Light Mountain, who took some money from Foguangshan and left, based on what I know. And it was not Lian Hai. Not Hui Song, his Dharma name. But there was a monk who left for Guangshan and took money. The great master's money with him. But the great master Sheng-yen didn't say anything. And also from Tzu Ji, there was a member of Tzu Ji who accepted donations and then disappeared totally. And Master Sheng-yen also didn't say a word. So they would receive the retributions of their own actions, and there is karma. So there is no need for us to make a big deal out of it, because our schools already like a plate of sand, which means not in unity. And we have lots of seniors, old and weak, so there's no need for us to attack each other. Amitabha. If we can forgive, just forgive. See, Grandmaster can never take a day off, even when I cough. And I have been coughing for 3 weeks. And the other night, I had dinner with several Vajra masters from Malaysia, Lian Tai over here, Master Gao Chengzu in front of me. And then here was who? Oh, it was a Dharma assistant. 3 men around me. A man here, a man here, and a man in front of me. So I kept coughing. But if there was a beautiful lady next to me, then I would endure and try not to cough. Otherwise, I would leave a bad impression on a lady. But because they were a man, so I kept coughing. Did I cough? It was really bad. Right, Master Gao Chengzu? But good thing, I don't cough when I give Dharma talks. I have this issue that when there's a beautiful lady next to me, then I will not cough. But if they're men, then I would not cough. Or if it's an old lady, I also will cough. Men and old ladies, then I will cough. I don't know why. That's my faith, I guess. So, we all know about Guru Padmasambhava. There's no need to talk more about him. But let me read my book. I know that in this world there are many misguided people. Life is so transient and death can come anytime. The 6 rebirth realms exist, and anyone with strong greed, anger, and or delusion is unlikely to escape the 3 lower realms. Each individual should understand the meaning of life and abhors the incessant cycle of life and death. Do not grasp to life and death and be drowned in the miserable ocean of life and death. That's why the goal of true cultivation in spiritual cultivation, the goal of true realization in spiritual cultivation, is to liberate oneself from this suffering. This is the marvelous bliss of the supreme liberation of the great perfection. I frequently urge people to generate a mind of renunciation, to develop bodhicitta, to make a vow to attain Buddhahood, to cultivate diligently, to train in the right meditation, and to cut off all the afflictions of life and death. There are many misguided people in this world. What is it? That you think that the world is real, but actually it is just an illusion. The Buddha have said that it is like a bubble, a dream, an illusion. So this life is like a dream. So you need to comprehend this. If you think that the world is real, then you would be deluded. So if you seek or you have ambitions for fame, wealth, and senses and sensualities, greed is most important. And anger or hatred is because you don't get what you want. Then you would have anger. And delusion, because you're misguided and you continually strive from fame, wealth, and sensualities, and you don't know how to cut off life and death. So, until eventually you know how to master life and death. So with strong greed, anger, and delusion, you would fall into the 3 lower realms. And so greed, that's hell, and anger, that's hungry ghosts, and delusion, that's animal realms. So if you have greed, anger, and delusion, then you would be like that. So talking about punishment, the ABC, the 3 prisoners that's to be executed, and ask them what their wishes, the last wish. And A said, I want to, a bulletproof vest. And B asked the shot to be targeted toward the head. And C said wants a bulletproof helmet and vest. And then the prisoners, the executioner asked B to hang himself. And C wanted to see his grandchildren. But your children are still young. And she said, don't worry, I will wait. So waiting is also kind of punishment. So in this world, you already have to suffer punishments, especially in the intangible world, in the unseen world. So Buddha Dharma says that every individual should understand the meaning of life and abhors the incessant cycle of life and death, because there is no happiness in the cycle of rebirth. There is happiness in heavens, but it is short. There is also happiness on earth, but it is also very short. And it is a mixture of happiness and suffering. And in the 3 lower realms, there are extreme sufferings. So the rebirth realms are not good. And the realm of Asura are always fightings. If you always fight and attack others, then you would fall into the realm of Asura. So do not grasp to life and death and be drowned in the miserable ocean of life and death. So cultivation is to abandon this rebirth cycle. Grandmaster has no attachments or no grasping. Greed, anger, and delusion. Maybe people would think that Grandmaster has anger or bad mood. Those are my weaknesses, but we have to control them and balance them. And we need to have a total peace and ease. And our mind, our heart have to be boundless. If you have boundless heart, then you would be totally serene. And then your conscience or your kindness would appear by itself. So your heart and your mind has to be wide open and boundless. And you walk on a wide open earth with green mountains, open ocean, clear blue sky. And infinite Buddha Dharma, then your heart and mind would be totally serene. So that's the way to peace and ease. So at the ultimate of the great perfection Dharma is this ease and peace. Nothing will bother you. And most important thing, don't be infected by greed, anger, or delusion. If you walk the wrong path, if you really love fame, then you would lose yourself. If you're too greedy, then you would lose yourself amidst the stacks of money. So this is important. A woman asked the man, so if you get married, will you stop smoking? And the man said yes. And will you stop drinking? And the man said yes. And the woman asked again, and at night you don't go to nightclubs anymore? And the man said yes. And the woman asked, would you let go of anything else? And then he replied, well, I would let go of getting married. I would let go of being in a marriage. So he is addicted to the pleasures of the world. So he would let go of marriage because he seeks pleasures. So that's also called attachment. So as a sadhaka, spiritual cultivator, it is very important to abide by the precepts. The precepts is to keep yourself, not others, and you need to always be introspective of yourself. You observe yourself, not for others. You have no enemies until you have true attainment in the great perfection Dharma. You have no enemies. Because your mind and heart are infinite, boundless, like the clear blue sky. You embrace all people, all kinds of people. Actually, Grandmaster knows when I accept people as my disciples, there are some who were thieves, mafia, prostitutes, gangsters. They became True Buddha disciples. So True Buddha school is boundless, like the clear blue sky. Embrace all kinds of people. Anyone can take refuge in True Buddha school. It is to give you a chance to change yourself. If you change yourself and you cultivate yourself diligently, that would be great perfection Dharma. That would be great perfection. There's some Boy Scout that went to Paris and they didn't know where to go, so they went to the topless club to watch a topless show, an adult place. At first, it was just an ordinary show, and at the end, there was a really sexy lady that got on stage, and with a very enticing smile and look, and showed herself to people and take off her clothes. When the lady was only in letter, only completely off, a Boy Scout cried, and he was asked why. And the young boy said, "My mom told me that if I see a nude lady, I would become a rock. And now part of my body has already become a rock." That's desire. If you watch a topless show, you would have reaction. Will you have reaction when you watch the topless show? Yes. The masters nodded their heads, but Grandmaster will not be affected. Why? If you have no feelings toward them, how could they be? If you have no feelings, no. If you have feelings, then yes, but not without feelings. That's the key point. So, if you have feelings, then that's not greed. But if you have no feelings, no love, and you have that reaction, then that would be called greed. So, for the Sangha members and lay practitioners, you need to watch. So, and you have to be sure that it is lawful and it is abide by the Bodhidharma, the Buddha Dharma. So it has to be, if you have feelings within the law, then it will be okay. So greed for wealth doesn't mean that you would abhor all kinds of wealth. But if it is deservedly yours, then it will be okay to have them. But if it is not yours, then you cannot have them. If you still want what you don't deserve, then that would be called greed. For sex, like I said earlier, for fame and name, if it happens to you naturally, then it is okay. But if you force upon it, then that would be called greed. So, if you force it, then that would be greed. So, if you don't put any force into it, if it is natural, it's okay. But if you go over and you force it, then that would be greed. So as Buddhists, we have to be sure to abide by the precepts. And that's also the precepts of the Great Perfection Dharma. So, liberation from the suffering of life and death is the goal of true realization in spiritual cultivation. And the true happiness is endure and give way. So if you can endure, that's a kind of happiness. And if you can let go and give way, that's also a kind of happiness. So that's why in the four immeasurables, you need to be kind, compassionate, joyful, and have equanimous. So kindness is to give others happiness, and compassion is to alleviate other people's sufferings. enjoy
高兴地去做，
is to do them with joy. You do everything with joy.
就是众生
And
平等
equanimity is equality among all.
所以我是众生如佛。
So that's why I view all sentient beings as Buddhas. Whether you violate the law or not, you are Buddha.
如佛一样，
So you need to treat sentient beings as Buddhas. Why?
都有佛性，
Because each single being has
得到
Buddha
惩罚以后
nature.
要洗心革面，重新再来。
So
这
after
就是
being
忏悔。
punished, then you need to cleanse yourself and change yourself, and this is called repentance.
所以你要大解脱，你必须
So
要有资
if
粮。
you have great
但是
liberation,
资粮
you
不
need
是
to have
金钱的
enough
资粮，
merits
资
and
粮不是
resources,
属于金钱，
and they
是法财，
they don't mean
是
monetary
佛法的财宝，
wealth,
佛法的
but
财宝。
it's a
你
Dharma
积蓄了
wealth.
佛法的财宝，
So if you accumulate the wealth of Buddha Dharma,
积集了
like
佛法的财宝，
kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity,
才
they're
能够
all
修
Dharma
行在
wealth.
大圆满
If
上
you
面
accumulate
成就
enough
了
Dharma
佛
wealth,
佛的果位。
only then you would be able to attain fruition in the great perfection Dharma.
那么我常常为众生如此的劝说，要发出离心。
So I often urge people to generate a mind of renunciation.
没有出离心，
That Buddha
在
Dharma
世间所做的事
ultimately is about
没有记
renunciation.
住出离心的话，
Without
这个
renunciation,
事业就是空的。
all that you do on earth is essentially
要发菩提
empty,
心，
and you
因为
need to
菩提
develop
心还有
bodhicitta.
天上的资粮。
Bodhicitta. Because by having bodhicitta, you would be able to gain the wealth of the heaven.
这个老师问学生啊，
The teacher asked
小明
students,
啊，请用左右
小
为难
明
来造句。
please
小明
make a
讲过
sentence
考
with
试的
left
时
and
候啊
right.
左右为难。
And Xiaomin
老师
replied,
讲是题目
啊
会难，
in
让
taking
你左右
tests,
为难。
I felt
小
difficult.
明讲不是的，
This is
左
an
右的
idiom
同
of
学
Chinese.
答案不一样，让我左
So
右为难。
why do you feel difficult left and
这
right?
考试作弊，
And which mean,
对不
he's
起大家啊，师尊也犯过这个错。
indecisive,
我以前
but
在
actually it's
这两个学校
because the answers
对
from
面的是
the
左
students to
青
the
南
left and to the right are different. This is play of words of Chinese.
左青南
In
左青南
class, in my survey engineering class, eh?
麦克风啊，有声音了，有声音。
The microphone had no sound earlier.
麦克风没有声音，好像在称华舞。
So the
左青南
soundless microphone, like it seemed
对呀，
to punch
你
me.
就会口气怎放较落来，我看较清楚。
I called on the
然后放下来
classmate
哇
in front of
是慢慢
me.
你那
Can
下
you
车
lower it so
你那
that I
下
can
车
see?
哇我
Show me your answer.
我懂。
But the writing is so messy, I cannot understand. And then I check my left and my right, and I couldn't see the one in the front or at the back. Or taking exams, I cheated, and I was being punished too. And sorry, but it's okay. I changed myself. I never cheated anymore ever since because I have no exams anymore now. So that's why I don't cheat, because there are no exams. But in school I did cheat And the head of the bureaus is here. And to tell you honest, no, but how about you? Did you ever cheat?
哦，你看孙福生，他是别人敲他的。
Oh, Mr. Sun Fu-seng he showed his answers to others. So that's why as the head of the bureau is different. Only this kind of person can become the head of a bureau.
我是军校10年以后我就退了下来。
So I was in service for 10 years, and I was a lieutenant colonel. And then I left. It was 10 years after graduation. I left the military. If I didn't leave, then I would have been. You could continue to stay. So the highest officer was the lieutenant colonel. Like a major. Yeah, like a major. And now we have no more worries about taking exams, or pressures, worries and miseries. And for money, everything is voluntary. I have no attachments to money. Everything is voluntary. And toward forms and looks, I still enjoy them. But those without feelings, of course, I am unmoved. It's okay just to admire them, just like looking at paintings. Although they're beautiful, but afterwards it's all gone. And fame and name, I have no need for that. But my Lama outfit is like a designer brand. Everybody will notice it, whether here in Taiwan or overseas. Whether people know me or not, it would attract attention. So this is the first brand name. And what else do I have? A watch. And the brand is Sheng-yen brand. Rolex. It was offered by the True Buddha Foundation. And sapphire. But actually it's just a precious stone of Africa that was being burned into this color. It's not a true sapphire, but it's beautiful. And this one is a ruby that was offered by an Indonesian disciple, and also this other one. Everything on me, including my underwear. I'm grateful to Lei Tsang Temple. They give me lots of underwears and underpants. And as you all know, my underpants is Taiwanese XL. And in America, someone gave me American XL size, wearing it as if like not wearing anything.
我的son-in-law， son-in-law，
My son-in-law
他穿叫
is the size for my son-in-law.
记得
My son-in-law Andy.
SL 衣服也是 SL， 是
And
台湾的 SL。
my undershirt was also Taiwanese size XL, but not American size
因
XL.
为讲什么牌的就是广告。
I cannot tell you the brand name, otherwise it would be like an ad, like a marketing.
所以名呢，我大致上来讲起来，就是这样。你说
So
我什么就是
for my fame is like
人
this.
家讲说这个
Whatever you say. Oh,
有人看了这个网络，
some
他就
people
离开生活中，
read
就离开生活中。
the postings on the internet and then left to Buddha school. There's no need for you to read,
看
to look at the
写
internet.
我好的你才看，写不好的你不要看。
You only want to benefit from what you see on the internet. Otherwise, just don't even
因为现
see
在
it.
网络非常发达，我自己从来不看网络。
I never get on
我
the
自己从来
internet.
不看。你看到
Myself, I
网络了
never.
你就进入发发世界。
Because
发发世界
if you start to get on the internet, it's like a virtual reality.
好
It's
的也
like
有，
a
坏的也有，什么都有。
it's like a
什么种类
market.
都
There
有。
are all kinds of stuff
那有
going
人看
on.
了以后他就不喜欢生活
And
中
some
了，这多
people,
可惜。
after reading on the
这是
internet,
错，这是
they left to Buddha school. That's too bad, because Grandmaster Lu is not so bad.
中然有一点不好。
Although there are a little bit of shortcomings, but
不会坏到哪里去。跟大家
But
讲，真的不会坏到哪里去。
Grandmaster Lu is not so bad. It's really not bad. Not.
我不会骗你的钱。
I will not cheat your money.
你跟着我，
If you follow
我也不
me,
会骗你的事。
I will not cheat your persons.
只是我有时候我被人家骗而已。
And that I was being cheated by you, by
你说
people.
名吗？我也不会骗
And
人家
for
的名。有什么
name
名好骗？
and fame, I also never cheat anyone.
到今天呢，
Until today,
自己什么都有，
I feel like I have
什么
everything.
都没有，
But at the same time, it seems that I don't have anything
因为空了，
because it's all emptied.
没有什么好的人，
There's
没有什
nothing
么好说
to
的。
say more.
我也不敢讲别人。
I don't dare to talk about others.
以前骂过了，以前有骂过。
I don't berate others or defame others.
那个
When
才
I
骂
was young,
现在不会，现在一句话
I
都不敢
did.
我
But
一句话
now
都不敢
I don't. I don't.
美丽的埃及女间谍，从以色列
A
回
beautiful
到开
Egyptian
罗的司令部报道，
spy
我拿到
went
了
back
太
to
阳将军最
Israel.
新攻击的计划。
I've
这一
got
份计
the
划是从
plan
他的办
from
公桌上拖来的。
a
不
general
但如此，我还俘虏
that
了
I
他的
got from
儿子
his office, and not only that, I also
孩子
serve
长大
his
在
son.
哪里？我们马上审问他。
And
这个
then,
女
oh,
间谍
this is
讲不
great.
行，
Where
要
is
再
he
等
now?
10个月。
What's that called? Prosecute him, but oh no, we have to
这
wait
就是
10
人间
months.
人间就是这样子，
So
谍对
that's
谍。
the world. Spy against spy. That's how the world is.
人间也是这个样子。
And the
这
human
个
world is
天
also
使
like
问
this.
他面前的人，
The angel asked the person in front of her,
这个问了几个人，天使就问。
the
有很
angel
多个
asked
王子
several people,
到了他那里，天使就审问：你 多少的婚外情？
How many extramarital affairs do you have?
我这一生只犯了一个错。
One person said one
天
mistake,
使啊，就给他一辆
and the
这
angel
是什么车啊？
gave him
Lamborghini
a Lamborghini
哇很好的
car.
车
That's
只
a
换了一
great
个
car.
婚外情。
Only one
另一个
affair.
就回答：我有7、8个婚外情。
And the other person said about 7 or 8 affairs. And the angel gave him
面
a Mercedes-Benz
面就是一般的这
A
个修理
van
车，
or a
面
van.
一个修理车。这个轮到一个人了，他说
And
我
then
是从一而终的。
There was a person
哇，这
that
个
said
天
that
使啊就
I'm
给他
faithful
一部法
and
拉利的
fidel.
兰博基尼跟法拉利，
And the angel
有
gave
时候
him a
法拉利比
Ferrari.
兰博基尼还贵啊。
Which one is more expensive? Ferrari sometimes more expensive
给
than
他一部
Lamborghini.
法拉利跑车。
So he was given a
他
Ferrari.
一上车呢以后呢，一下子就超越了修理车跟兰博基尼。
So when he got in the car,
然后
he
到了天堂以后
passed
找了很
by the Lamborghini
久，
and
找不
van.
到。
And when he got to
当
heaven,
这
he
个修
couldn't
理
find.
车到了天堂以后啊，他找不到这位开法拉利的老兄啊，他们决定回头去找他。
So the one,
结果
the one,
法拉利的
the one
车主
driving the van couldn't find the
这
one
个人
driving
在
Ferrari.
车上抱头痛哭。
And finally,
他
he
们上
found
前问
the
了
man
究竟
inside the Ferrari crying out his head.
我超越了一部公车。
He said, I passed by a bus driver, and the driver was my wife. So do you understand this joke?
这个就是欲望。
So the wife has more affairs.
大家都听懂。
So this is her desire. Nobody understood.
假问你这一生当中什么时候最快乐？
So A asked,
结婚那天呐，
when is the happiest time of your life? At my wedding day. When did you start to suffer?
结婚后的每一天呐，
So every single day after the wedding.
这个就是人间。我现在讲的都是人间了啊。
So
所以我们要有
this is all about the
要
world.
发菩提心。
That's why we have to have a mind of renunciation, to develop bodhicitta, to vow to become, to attain Buddhahood, and to cultivate diligently, to train the right meditation, cut off all the afflictions of life and death.
断除生死，
So everything is
绝
afflicted.
对没有烦恼。
So, but if you can reach the realm where you are in control of your life and death, and you transcend life and death, then you have no afflictions anymore. Om Mani Padme Hum.